On this episode of the show, we're going to talk about the top 5 financial planning mistakes you're making. Creating wealth, protecting families, building legacy. This is the Rich Life Lawyer Show. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the Rich Life Lawyer Show. I am Christopher Small, your host, as always, and I'm here. I'm excited to talk to you about today's topic, right? Top 5 financial planning mistakes that you are making. And, hopefully we're not harping too much on mistakes all the time and down things all the time, right? But these things, what you'll hear with these lessons and the things that I've been talking about in the past, you can change these things by making some very small moves with your life, with your finances, with the way that you approach money. And that's why I want to talk about it, because it's so easy for you to retire wealthy, to generate wealth now, to protect your family now, right? So easy to do all these things, but we just don't, and we put it off, or we don't want to think about it, or we're uncomfortable, or we don't want people to know that our financial situation isn't exactly what we put out there sometimes. I can tell you, I'm digressing a little bit before we get into to what we're talking about today, the topic, but the first time I ever went to a financial planner, I was nervous. And I wasn't nervous because I knew we were going to talk about money, but I was afraid that I was going to be exposed as unsuccessful. I was afraid that this person who knows a lot about money and who knows a lot about generating wealth, I was nervous that they were going to judge me and my lack of financial status. And not only did that not happen, but I learned a lot. I put together a plan to move forward, to exponentially increase the amount of wealth that I was generating and creating for my family. And it was a great experience. So that's why I'm talking about these things, all right? I'm figuring maybe you and I can have a conversation right now, and that will help you to take the next step, which is to actually go out there and get organized and do these things, because make a huge difference for you, your family, for your grandkids, for your great grandkids. That's what the Rich Life Lawyer, that's what we're all about, is creating generational wealth, is protecting families, right? Those are our 2 main focuses. That's what we do really, really well. All right, so let's talk about these 5 ways, 5 mistakes that you make when it comes to financial planning. And one of these I actually learned talking to my financial planner. I never thought about it. I guess I've never done the research on it or really done the math on it. But the first thing is the idea that you should be riskier with your investments the younger that you are. And the reason that it doesn't really make much sense when you think about it or when you sort of wrap the numbers around it is that with risky investments, yes, you have higher highs, but you also have lower lows. And people, I think, at least when I did this, because I fall into this boat, I would always choose the riskiest investment. Hey, I'm young, I can recover. That's what I always think of. If there's a dip, I can recover, but if it goes way up, I want to be a part of that. I want to be on that rocket ship. And if you look at the math, though, what really wins the race, if you start early, is to get that steady growth. If you could get 8% growth on your investments every year forever, and you started investing when you were 25 or 35 or 45, you can generate significant wealth. If you are going up, or you have a 10% year one year and a 2% one year and a 10% and a 2%, even though it averages out to 6%, the math doesn't work the same, because your money is not working as hard for you some years as it should be. So that's number one. You don't have to take the boring route. You don't have to go all the way to conservative, but just consider avoiding, or at least talk to your financial planner about avoiding the most risky investment strategies that are out there. All right, that's the first thing. Number 2. So this is, I've read this and seen this a whole bunch of different times, but the second sort of financial planning mistake that you're making is trying to cut out a lot of small things to save just a little bit of money. So for example, Starbucks, right? If you want to have a latte every day, I'm here to tell you, go have that latte, okay? It's like $4 a day. What you want to avoid though is going out and spending $200 or $300 on a dinner, every week. Think about that. I read somewhere, I can't remember where, but one of the secrets of the rich is that they enjoy their latte, but they avoid going out to dinner a bunch of times because that's just wasted money, and obviously we're talking about different levels of wealth and things like that, but consider allowing yourself to have those little daily enjoyments and forego those sort of middle ground things that eat up a lot of your cash but don't really provide you a ton of value. If you're a foodie, then maybe it's something else that you can cut out, right? So that's the second thing. Number 3, the third way that we sort of mess up our financial planning is that we overinsure things that aren't important and we underinsure the things that are important. And what I mean by that is, we have a lot of insurance for our car, we have a lot of insurance for our house, we have a lot of insurance for, our possessions, but very few of us here, I know I'm probably talking to you, have life insurance and have disability insurance, which are two of the most important types of insurance that you want to have, right? Because those carry the biggest risk, right? Those are sort of those cover those catastrophic events. We don't insure those enough, but we overinsure these little minor things that typically will happen. Car insurance, for example, right? The chance that you're going to be in a very serious car accident is relatively small, yet what we insure for are the dings, right? Or the little dings. Or, you make your deductible really low and your insurance really low. You don't cover those catastrophic events. That's a perfect example, right? With car insurance, where you take the minimum car insurance that you can to cover, basically you're just covering a scratch, where if you get in a very serious accident, you're not going to be covered. You're not going to be taken care of. Same goes with life insurance and disability insurance. Those are the things that you want to cover, those catastrophic events, so that you can protect yourself, protect your family, right? That's what this is all about. That's what insurance is really about, right? Protecting risk. So if you are not protecting those catastrophic events, you're missing out. The fourth thing is not being clear on goals. And we talked about this in the last video, but not being clear on goals is critical for financial planning. You can't get where you want to go if you don't know where you want to go. And I already talked about this a little bit, so I won't harp on it again and again and again, but think about what your dream life is like. Think about what your dream scenario is like, and get out there and make that happen, right? And then last but not least, right, is not having an estate plan. Not having an estate plan matters for a whole bunch of different reasons. And, with us, we're a little bit different in the way that we approach estate plans, in that it's not just about moving your things around to different people. It's about legacy creation. It's about wealth generation, right? So we're really thinking about how you can maximize what you've done with your life and pass that down to generations, down the road. And what I mean by that is, think about the lessons that you've learned, the life lessons that you've learned, the things that you would want to tell your kids and your grandkids at those big moments in their life. If you think about it, for example, I don't know how old you are right now, but let's say you're 60 and you've retired, right? And you have your kids are in their 30s. You have lived a couple of years in retirement. Think about the advice that you would want to give your kids about how to live life once they retire, or about what retirement is really like. You could leave them that information if you planned for it, and that's what estate planning can do for you. You can also avoid giving away a significant portion of your wealth to the man, right? To the government. If you're in Washington State, and at the time of this recording at least, if your estate is worth over $2 million, there's a 19% tax on everything that's over that. If your estate is worth over $5.4 million or so right now, then you're paying a 40% tax on that to the federal government. Those are significant numbers that can basically just wipe out all the work that you've done over the course of your life for your family. And estate planning can help you avoid those kind of penalties. Right? Can also avoid heartache when it comes to choosing guardians for your children, right? And taking care of your children, and avoiding fights, avoiding all this conflict that can occur if you don't take the time to just plan out what you want to do. So that's the fifth thing. And, obviously I don't like the plug, but if you need help with that, call us because we can do that for you. And we're good, really good. So that's it. Those are the 5 financial planning mistakes that people make that can be changed around relatively quickly, right? So the question of the day, what should the question of the day be? I guess which one of those mistakes do you think that you're making, and tell me what you're going to do to change it. I'd love to hear from you. So if you have questions, we've got answers, or I've got answers. At Rich Life Lawyer on Twitter, facebook.com/Rich Life Lawyer. Just use the hashtag Rich Life Lawyer Show, and I'll answer your questions. So can't wait to talk to you next time. See ya.